It's time for Recipe of the Day. I am here to tell you that turkey is not the only thing you should be brining. Shrimp benefit from brining too. And it makes sense. Brining has the best effect when it is being used on a leaner protein because it adds some juiciness and it adds some flavor, both of which can be missing when something is a little bit on the leaner side, right? And shrimp are, of course, very lean. So when you brine them, you make them less dry, more juicy, and you bring that salty flavor right into the shrimp. So you're going to start by thawing your shrimp, and I will give you my link to my favorite way to do that, which I actually also told you about yesterday on this show. So you get your shrimp home still frozen because that's the best way to buy them. And then you thaw them, and then you're going to put them in this brine. The brine is 3 cups of cool water, just cold tap water, with some salt. Now, the salt that I usually use is the Morton's kosher salt. You need 3 tablespoons of that. If you're using a regular table salt or like that kind of granularity of salt, whether it's sea salt or something else, you only need 2 tablespoons. And if you have the Diamond Crystal kosher salt, you need a little bit more because it's a thicker grain than the Morton's. So that's 4.5 tablespoons of the Diamond Crystal. Now, I don't usually put sugar in my brines, but I do sometimes for the shrimp. It just brings out that extra sweetness. So if you're going to do that, it's 1.5 tablespoons of sugar. You can also scoop in a good tablespoon of garlic powder if you want in there. That's going to get right into those shrimp because it's being sucked in with the saltwater brine. So that's a great thing to do as well. So first, get your water, add your salt and your sugar, dissolve those in, stir them well. You can see if they're dissolved. And once the mixture is clear, then add in that garlic powder if you're using it. Give that a stir. And then to that, you are adding 1.5 pounds of large raw shrimp. That's the 20 to 40 per pound. That's going to be any of those sizes in that range. It's going to be great. You want them to be peeled and deveined, but the tail can be on or off. So you can be doing this inside of a zip top bag or inside of a bowl that's big enough so that the liquid is in there and the shrimp are fully submerged. And then those go into the fridge for ideally an hour. But actually even just 40 minutes has an effect, and you can leave them in for as long as an hour and a half. But I do not recommend that you leave them for longer than that. Then after that time, you drain them, but do not rinse them. We don't want to rinse off any of the flavor that we've added in there. So drain them and then pat them really dry with some paper towels and then proceed with your favorite shrimp recipe. Just remember that you're not going to want to add any salt to anything. So if these are going into a sauce or onto skewers with like any kind of seasoning blend or anything like that, you do not want to add any more salt to that. If though you're doing this in like a sauce to put on pasta, you still salt your water for the pasta. You just don't salt anything that the shrimp is going to be cooking in or being with. You know, you don't want any saltiness there. I will put the link to this recipe in the show notes for this podcast episode, or you can head to cookthestory.com/ROTD and get it there, or find it in our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/recipeotd. And hey, just a quick note. I'm on a recording hiatus right now, so for the next little while, I'm replaying episodes from the archives, including this one. If you heard me mention a holiday, a season, or something going on in my life that seemed a bit off, that's why. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you're enjoying these older episodes. I am Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, cookfor2.us, and from this podcast, Recipe of the Day. I hope you have a great day. Let's get cooking.